Okay, the first thing I would do is just simplify f. And let me write this down for you. I'm going to multiply it out. That's going to be x squared. And then you get minus 3. And the power there is x, to the 1/2. And then I'm adding a 1 to it. So it's going to be x to the 3/2. Right, and I do know the x is greater than 0 for this. All right, so I'm going to write the first derivative down. And that's going to be 2x minus 9/2 x. I take 1 from the exponent, and that's going to be 1/2. Right, let's keep going. Second derivative. That's going to be 2 minus, that's going to be 9/4. And it's going to be x to the minus 1/2. Right? So again, I'm looking at it and wondering what happens here. And they want the points of inflection. So my analysis really kind of takes place, and this is for the second derivative, by the way, from 0 forward. All right. So I'm looking at this, and does it have any critical value? So you might say, oh, 0 is a critical value. It's not, because it's not in the domain of the problem. So I'm not going to use that. But what I'm going to do is I wonder, does it ever equal 0? It can only equal 0 if 9/4 x to the minus 1/2 is equal to 2. I'm going to rewrite it a little differently. And what I'm going to do is I'll write this as 9 over 4 square root of x is equal to 2. I'm going to rewrite that again. And that's going to be 9/8. I'm dividing both sides by 2. And multiply both sides by the root of x. I'm going to square both sides. And what do you get? You get 9 squared, which is 81. 8 squared is 64. And that equals x. I get a critical number, and I'll write this down for you. The critical number is 81 over 64. All right? So what I do now is I take test points to the left and to the right of 81 over 64. And I'm going to say a good test point over here, below this thing, between 0 and that number. I'm going to say 1. Where do you plug it in? Right over here. That should be relatively simple to do. And what would you get? You would get 2 minus 9/4. Well, 9/4 is greater than 2, so this is going to be a negative number. What do I know about that? It's concave down. All right. So let's go past 81 over 64. And I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to say, what if I took 100? All right, that's definitely past that. Let me write that down for you. So f double prime at 100, relatively simple number to choose. What do you get? 2 minus 9, and then you get 4 times 10, which is 40. All right. Now, I hope you realize that 2 minus a proper fraction is going to be a positive number. So what is it going to be? Concave down from 0 to 81/4. Concave up from 81 over, I'm sorry, I said quarters. I didn't mean that. Concave down from 0 to 81 over 64, and then concave up from 81 over 64 to infinity. So what I want to do is put the point of inflection down, the POI. The POI occurs at 81 over 64, and it's going to be f of 81. I'm not going to compute the number, by the way, over 64. Could you compute the number? Of course you could. What are we looking for point of inflection? It occurs at 81 over 64. They put the work down over here. Again, it may look slightly different than what I've written over here. And again, like I always say, your mileage may vary, but you should be agreeing what we're writing down in the key, by the way, including you're looking at that and wondering, is it really true? If you need help, please stop by and get help. All right. Oh, by the way, they do ask another question, concave up, concave down. We did talk about that. It's concave up over here, and it's concave down over here. All right, and that's written down for you. Thank you.